Hello, and welcome to a little video about Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, which is out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC on February the 5th. I'm Dom from the 6th Axis, and today I'm joined by our very own Tef, who's gone hands-on with the game.
Hello.
There he is. So, this was your first time playing a Naruto game?
Yeah, I still have no idea in my head what actually happened. I'm not really that big a fighting game fan anyway.
Okay.
And then I'm not familiar with the Naruto games, and I've never actually watched the anime either. So, like, all three from all sides, this was completely new for me.
You were perfectly suited to go and try this out.
Exactly. No, I did actually say to the guys at Bandai Namco, I forget which way around it is these days because they keep changing it. But I did say to them, I'm not really familiar with it, and they were like, no, it's okay, like, it's fairly easy to pick it up, and it is. Like, I've no idea what's going on in the story, but, like, the actual fighting and the battling is not too difficult. It's, like, you move around in these 3D arena battle areas, and then, basically, you're just holding R2 to block attacks and circle to punch people. And those are the only real things that you need to know, because all of the combos are basically just pressing circle lots of times and landing your punches.
Okay. So were you able to do any of the ultimate jutsus or things like that, or is it...
Well, I sort of started to get into it. I mean, it is more complicated than that. So you've got your chakra, which you can charge up, and you've got shurikens or throwable items, which you can use to attack. You've got throws, and obviously then just, like, is it the jutsus, which are... Where basically the big flashy combo moves?
Yeah.
So those are basically just, you press circle 6 times, you land 6 hits in a row, and then you get a big flashy fireball, or like knife swirl, or I think one thing that the AI got me with when I was playing versus mode, it was just like, oh, it throws you up into the air and then it explodes you into a sun. And I'm like, okay, fine. And then he just like thud back onto the ground. It's like, okay, carry on fighting now.
Yeah. You can survive that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because anime.
Yeah.
But you've always got, like, these are basically the same controls, the same kind of combos for all of the characters, and there are so many characters in the game. When there's secondary and tertiary characters in your team, you can have teams of up to 3. Like, you can switch between them just, like, flicking on the right analog stick. And so as I'm button mashing a little bit, like, other characters are just hopping in and out like willy-nilly, and I've got, it's just carnage when I'm playing this game.
But is it good looking carnage?
Yeah, no, it looks really, really good. I think is maybe not the tip-top cell shading that you will see in something like Ni no Kuni 2 maybe, or something like that, but it still looks really good, and it's got that feeling of the anime, I think. Like, when it comes to the actual story, a lot of it is done in the 3D engine, but there are also points, I believe, where it uses stuff from the anime.
Okay.
And
cool.
So it sort of mixes between the two, and I believe that with Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, they are trying to have more of the cutscenes and more of the story between the battles.
Yeah, well, I think it's the case that that's one of the things that people have complained about in previous years, is that you can hop from fight to fight, and that's a shame, because you want the story, and I guess as well they've always been very, very faithful to following what goes on in the anime, but if it's just going from fight to fight, then you're obviously losing a bit of it, aren't you?
Yeah, and I mean, that's not going to be interesting or exciting either, is it?
No.
I mean, one thing that I will say is that I tried a couple of 2 different scenarios, and they were both completely different. So first off, I started off with a story section which is called The Boys Battlefield, but it's called something completely different in the anime when trying to find it online. Or something similar but different, and that's where Obito and Kakashi are going to rescue someone, and like, this was basically just like 3 battles back to back against Earthquake guys, but the second scenario was the Roar of the Ten Tails, where Naruto and 2 other guys sort of do this crazy, like, Power Rangers type thing, and they turn into a kind of big ghost wolf thing with lots of tails and start throwing fireballs.
The Nine Tails.
Is he the Nine Tails? No, the Ten Tails is the bad guy.
Naruto's the Nine Tails.
Yeah, and the 10 Tails is the big giant monster thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think. I don't.
Yes.
Okay. Because I have absolutely no idea going into this game. And that's kind of why I wanted you to be asking me the questions instead of Chris, because it means that I can now go, so Dom, tell me what's the story of Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4? And is this going to be a good point for people to jump into the game and start playing and know what's going on?
Now that's going to be an interesting question. Because, okay, so Naruto Shippuden, I think, ran for about 450 episodes. Maybe a bit more than that. And that's on top of the original Naruto series that was before that, when they were younger. And then there's a few movies in there as well. So I think Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 features characters from some of the movies and from the TV series. And this one now is bringing the whole series to an end, which is the anime's come to an end, and this is going to tie all your loose ends up. Now, I would say that still Naruto is overall one of the most accessible animes that you can probably watch. And I think anybody's going to be able to jump in with it. Hopefully they'll do some kind of catch-up thing at the opening of the game, because they've got to get past about 300 episodes of stuff.
I mean, aside from not knowing like the overall story, I still think it could be relatively good for just hopping in and just like messing around. And I just tuned out because this wasn't even just I'm playing from the start of the game and I don't know what's going on. This was I'm dropped in halfway through this game story and I don't know what's going on. I had like 10 minutes of the anime, like or 10 minutes of a story cutscene for me to sort of like glaze over, where I wasn't really doing anything and I didn't know what was going on.
I think it's going to look spectacular. It's always been very welcoming sort of difficulty level. And really CyberConnect 2, who've on the whole only been making Naruto games for the last 20 years or something, are so into the series and into the characters and stuff. And I think Naruto is actually probably one of the best served anime series in terms of its computer game brethren. And but you will be able to jump in there and have spectacular fights. It'll look amazing. But then obviously if you're fans of the series, it is an ultimate piece of fan service. With I think this one's probably got all of the characters in it.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely ridiculous. Let's move on, I think, to talk about the versus mode, because even if you don't understand the story, whatever, because you can still just hop in and like you can play against the AI, or you can play one against another person locally or online. So it's the standard setup for a fighting game.
Sure.
And yeah, you've got tag teams of 3 people, and seriously, there's just pages and pages of characters to go through. It's like I can't possibly imagine that all of these are main characters or have like story arcs, but they're all here. You've got 7 maybe different versions of Naruto. There's a character where it's a guy who's just like in a big bathrobe and he blows bubbles at people. And I just did not understand. Oh, there's a guy who's got like a puppet that he controls.
Yeah,
like a full-size puppet.
Yeah.
He is really weird to play as.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm controlling him or if I'm controlling the puppet.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the series, you're controlling him, controlling the puppet, and there's a few characters that's their ninjutsu skill.
Yeah. So like I played a few matches of this, and like the AI was kicking my butt to start off with, much more so than in the story, and I just like lost a few rounds. But I do quite like how the rounds are sorted out, because it's best of 3, which is the standard thing for fighting games. But instead of having each round start where you're on completely level terms again, fight. Yeah. Instead of that, they get a full health bar again, so they're on to like the next health bar. but the person that won the first round doesn't get their health bar recharged, or maybe not quite to the same degree.
Yeah.
And so then they're at a bit of a disadvantage in that second round, and I think that's really fascinating because it means that, like, it keeps it more even, or it keeps it more likely for a fight to go to the third and deciding round.
And yeah, so I think when you have, and it's not just that. Obviously, Ultimate Ninja Storm isn't the only one to have done it, but I always feel like it is a nice way of showing that you are progressing through that battle.
Yeah, and I mean, you can actually run around the arena as it says round 2.
Yeah.
And so, like, you can posture and position yourself so that as soon as you start punching people, you can get the first punch in, that kind of thing. Yeah. But I did eventually win a battle, and I did it with I did it with like an attack that used all 3 of my characters, and so that was cool. Awesome. And I was able to be the one that exploded the enemies into the sun instead of being exploded into the sun myself.
Well, and that's what it's all about. That just about wraps things up. As we said at the start, the game comes out on the 5th of February, and you can head over to the6thAxis.com, and we'll hopefully have a review for you up soon.
I think you're gonna review it, Dom.
Oh, good. Good. Well, I'll be doing a review. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
I'll bloom on the battlefield.
The victor has been decided.
Yay!
That's it for me.